The waiting room is a room where you can send a single source out to all of the guests within that room to form a kind of virtual green room, if you will. Now, if you don't already have a waiting room in your QuickLink Manager portal, you can add one by hovering over the plus icon at the bottom of the page and then selecting waiting from the drop-down menu here. By default, you'll have access to one waiting room, but if you need to increase this, then please contact the QuickLink Sales Team. As you can see here, I already have a waiting room in my QuickLink Manager portal. I've already started it up in order to speed up this process. Now, with the room empty, you can access the settings of the room by clicking the pencil icon. The first thing to look at that might be useful is the information tab here, which has your IP address and DNS address for that room. Back on the settings tab, you can set a data rate from 128 up to 4 meg here, in case you need to have a full HD waiting room here. Audio conferencing can be turned on or off by using this tick box. Now, what that allows is your guests to either communicate with each other verbally or not. So if you'd like them to be able to have a chat, you can leave this ticked. And if not, you can turn that off by unticking that box. The auto connect feature here is another tick box option. I will show you a little bit more about that in a second. You can also change the name of the room down at the bottom of this window here as well. So once you're happy with your settings, just click save. Those settings will load into that room now. So you're ready to now start adding guests to your waiting room. But before you can add any guests into these seats, you'll need to first pop in a program return, which you can do so by dragging and dropping a server channel into the program return slot there, or you could send a feedback from QuickLink Create as well if you wish. Then you can drag your guests into the seats available here. You'll notice that by default there are 12 seats, but if you need this increased, then again, please contact the QuickLink Sales Team. So from this point here, you've got a few things that you can do. Obviously, you've got individual PFL and talkback on your guests as you do in all of the rooms. You can also perform a pre-fade listen to the entire room by clicking this button up the top here, and then talk back to the entire room by clicking it on the room up there. You can also open a preview window, which allows you to start the video tiling, see all your guests again here, but what this does also allow you is to see a little bit more information about your guests and program return here as well. So you can keep an eye on the stats as well as keeping an eye on the video previews there. You can also perform some monitoring in here too. So if you select a speaker or headphone device from the drop-down menu up here, you can then unmute to have a listen to a particular guest or your program return here if you wish. You can also mute all, unmute all from the top here by the show information / hide information button here as well. Let's just close that down for a second. So I mentioned the auto connect feature here. To change that, you'll need to empty this room in order to access the settings again. You can actually completely empty the room by just dragging and dropping the program return out of that program return slot for that room. So you don't have to drag and drop all of your guests out of there. So back in the settings, we can turn on the auto connect functionality here and then click save. You'll see that the room view has changed slightly. So now I don't need to drag and drop any of my guests into the seats because the seats have disappeared. All I need to do is pop a program return back into that slot, and you'll see that all of my guests in the device list have now automatically joined that waiting room. You can see here it says 3 users connected too. So that saves you a bit of time and effort dragging and dropping everybody around. Again, you still have access to the preview window from the auto connect room as well, so you can actually still perform some monitoring of either the audio or the video feeds here for each of your guests too. So that's a quick introduction to the waiting or virtual green room. Thank you for watching. You can access other instruction videos on our YouTube channel or by navigating to support.quicklink.tv.